I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're
Hey guys, welcome back. Josh here, Oreo Express. Hope you're all having a good day. We got a lot in store for you today. Thank you for tuning in. If I could ask a favor of you, if you would share this out, please. Also, hit that like button. We would appreciate it. And thank you for watching us. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us here. We do appreciate it, and it is an honor to be here and be with you folks. Let me jump into the comments really quick. Jan Garner is in the house. Check that out. Still out of jail, Jan Garner. Caden, Texas. Pixie, the cusser Pixie. C. Marcia's here. Old Uncle Bill, Hunter, Micro Taz. So we get started today because, you know, old Uncle Bill's been tardy a few times, and we're going to let him slide now, but we can get going now as soon as I'm done with the intro. Texas Bigfoot, thank you guys, and appreciate you all tuning in today. What is today? It is Thursday, March 13th. Thursday, March 13th. How time is flying, man. I was, it's just jamming right along. Like, you know how you have the certain things, like say you have a car and you just want it to get paid off, and you look at it and you're like, oh, less than a year left, and you just get excited. I had a moment like that the other day, and I was just like, holy cow, it's already, wow, it's going to be 2026 next year. And it's just crazy how times are flying. We got a lot to discuss. Democrats, they're going to shut down the government. I'll be honest, I'll be disappointed if Senate Republicans cave. This is their shutdown. Again, they're trying to obstruct anything Trump does, whether it's their judges. They're all being activists for the Marxist Party. And what they want to see is they want to see the economy destroyed more. They want to see people without paychecks. They want to see they want to see the chaos that could ensue. And when I say chaos, I just mean the fake news, what unfortunately some people believe, which hurts the polling numbers. And that's all Democrats care about. Oh, Trump's polling at 49% now. Oh, no. You know what? Americans love Trump. Americans love Trump. And I see it every day when I go out. I'm always wearing something. Oh, and if you guys haven't seen this yet, more ice, please. More ice, please. I'll be wearing this out today as I go around. And people always ask me, I got to start carrying more business cards. They're always, where'd you get that shirt? I love that shirt. And I was like, I make them. And so make sure you head over to the OreoExpress.com. And because we are trying, we might possibly go out of town this weekend, but we're behind on our bills. We are going to do a raffle today and tomorrow only. So what it's going to be for, it's going to be for $75 gift card on our website, the OreoExpress.com. I'll show you that right now. And one of our Make Speech Free Again's hats. If you haven't got one yet, we got red, we got the pink, and we got the camo. So again, we're just trying to get some bills caught up. So we are going to be doing that. So if you want to enter into the raffle, again, you only have until tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be first show or second show, because I don't know if we're having a second show because tomorrow's Friday. So regardless, we'll do it tomorrow. If we have a second show, we'll do it that show. But if you guys want to enter in, you can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And we also have a Zelle link. You go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and you click donate now, and the Zelle link will be in there. Let me just show you some of the stuff on the website. Some of y'all haven't seen some of these shirts. Of course, we got the More Ice, Please. We got the t-shirt. We got the long sleeve shirt. We got the Gulf of America coffee cup, the Gulf of America shirts, kind of the, what do they call these shirts? I kind of retro style, I guess you can say. Let me pull this up right here. Taking a little time today. I got to work on the website while it's taken. So Gulf of America. There you have it. Those shirts there. You can see. So, and it comes in a couple different colors. Ooh, that thing's not liking that. There we go. So, and a lot of other things. Again, if every $10 entry gets you in one time. So if you donate $20, you get 2 entries. We do it live on our show if you're new to this. And we have some of our other shirts, the ending of a nightmare, our inauguration coffee cup, Trump better coverage than 5G. I mean, we can go back. Let's go back to the next page. I haven't looked at this page in a minute. See what else we have right here. But again, Jan Garner, pick me. Jan has 30. She has 3 entries. Thank you so much, Jan. I like this one too. I don't want to close. I don't want to hear your advertisement. We won. This is an old Uncle Bill shirt right here. Just a pixie shirt. You see the middle fingers? But we got all kind of gear on there. We got MAGA gear. We won. Even got some kid stuff, beanie stuff, long sleeve Trump 47 shirt. So again, thank you, Jan, for hopping in there. So if you guys want to get into that, I would appreciate it. Again, we're trying to get caught up here. I thought this was interesting. So it's been raining pretty good since last night. It's calmed down now. No raindrops, but it has rained pretty good, and we expected this rain. We need this rain, and always this is our March rain. We get a lot of rain between like the end of February till about April, and then we'll get April showers. But it's been raining, and last night the National Weather Service reported a tornado. It was an EF0, so it wasn't that bad, but it just did some damage, some structural damage, some trees over. But that was in Pico Rivera neighborhood last night. I think it was about 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. So luckily nobody was injured. Freedom Cowgirl, I do have some type of baby clothes in 6 to 12 months. It's probably pretty far down on the thing, but I probably have some USA stuff. Because I used to, I whenever I wanted to find cool stuff for Caden, we would just design it, put it on the website, and I would order it. So there is some stuff on there. So go check that out. Now we're going to talk about, before we get into Democrats and their comments on the shutdown. Sometimes your comments will come back to haunt you. But we're going to get into some mental illness, some protest mental illness. And I want to show you this right here. I thought this was just incredible. Hold on, let's see. This guy bought a Tesla just to destroy it. And of course, he lives in Seattle. Take a look at this. Don't have audio for it. But I bought it just to destroy it. I'm just going to say, if you can afford a Tesla just to destroy it, I wonder if you're one of the rich guys Democrats hates, man. You could, we'll pull the leftist thing here. There's people in Africa that don't even get to eat, and you're over here destroying a Tesla. But hey, more Tesla sales, right? I mean, if there's people out there that hate me and want to order some shirts off my website to burn them, more power to you. You are very brave. I would suggest doing that. I would suggest ordering a lot of shirts to burn, by the way. Mom X Swift, here's my entry. God bless you, Josh. Thank you, Mom X Swift. Appreciate you. Speaking of mental illness, we got a little bit of mental illness today. Unhinged trans activist invaded the Vermont Capitol to protest and disrupt a scheduled detransition event. Police at the Vermont Capitol reportedly did nothing to stop the protesters from disrupting the event. Take a look at this.
Exactly for this, to not try to censor or disrupt. It's for civil discussion. It's not for censoring anyone's party. You are the ones who are actually violating the First Amendment. Not the Alliance.
Guys. I love it that they just continue to make a fool out of themselves. I mean, when you see those people out, we just want rights. They don't want rights. They have all the rights you have. They want to dominate. They want to take away your ability to free speech. They want to take away your ability to tell the truth. And this is what happened. And we've talked about this a lot. This is what happens when you have when you added the T on the end of the LGB, and then you added the plus for like dogs, cats, animals, pedophiles. This is what you get. The LGB group that I grew up with, like if you were gay, I don't have to agree with what you do in your bedroom. You don't have to agree with what I do in my bedroom. But it was one of those things where it was just like, agree to disagree, right? You don't want me to worship your flag. You don't want to parade around naked around children on my city streets. None of that stuff happened. None of that stuff happened. And now when you have somebody, again, this is in Vermont at a detransition event. We went to a detransition event. Was it last year in Sacramento? That's when our camera equipment got stolen from Trans Tifa. That's when multiple journalists were assaulted right there on video in front of police, and police did nothing. Well, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with these people, other than I know I say mental illness a lot, but I think that's just a cover for being possessed by demons. I mean, really, when you can take your time and wear clothes like that, and really, you're just going to go interrupt somebody. And why are you so worried about what they have to say? I know why, because they're speaking the truth. Now, check this out. So, Trump Tower, anti-ICE and pro-Hamas protesters have taken over the first floor of the Trump Tower in New York City. You heard me right. The first floor in New York City. And take a look at this. We got a couple videos for you on this one. Protest, and those that want to say this is the First Amendment, the First Amendment does not cover you to go and, again, like we talked about yesterday in the Starbucks, where those Starbucks employees did a sit-in and they were affecting the business. They told them to leave and they refused. This is the same thing. What was that? entering or remaining in a restricted building. This is a restricted building right here. It's restricted from protesters because it's a private business. I need to get to some of these areas, but again, I want to try to stay out of jail. Here was another video. Police carry one protester up the escalator at Trump Tower as they cleared the lobby of the group. Jewish Voices for Peace, who occupied the building lobbying, chanting, "Free Mahmoud Khalil." This is video from Freedom News TV. They all look the same. They all look the same.
Free Mahmoud Khalil! Free Mahmoud
You all right, Scoop?
Yeah.
I'm going to need to come from friendly.
He's one of the biggest assholes in New York. Alright, make sure you're right.
I think we're gonna have to get back to what we did, and we started out in, I think it was late 2015, early 2016, was going to defend these spaces, whether it was college campuses and there was large brawls because patriots were assaulted. Patriots, these BAM, by any means necessary, and all these Marxist communist organizations that don't know which restroom to use were out there and assaulting the elderly and trying to just take advantage of those they knew they could take advantage of until they spent the next week shitting out their teeth, because they were met with not equal violence, they were met with correct violence. And I think that's where it's going to come to if the police don't get a hold of this. If, I got another video, and the reason why my blood pressure's a little high because I wish I was in this vehicle with a 9mm. I'm going to show you a video here in a little bit, right now. And just look at these terrorists, these cockroaches in the streets of America.
Fuck you! You dumb bitch! Fuck you!
You scared now?
Bro, we're not here for them. Fucking dumb bitch!
Stupid!
Fuck you!
Stupid!
Fuck you!
Stupid! Yeah, triangle Hamas! I
You
love
fucking
Hamas!
dumb bitch!
Yeah!
You stupid hoe!
Stupid! Open your window, dummy! Open your window!
fucking
Now you're scared!
Bro, if you're here for them, stay with them. If you're here for the protest, go to the protest.
You dumb bitch! Fuck you!
I shared this on X, for those that follow me on X, a little while ago, and I said, I think we're going to have to keep goats in the vehicle to keep these guys distracted. I mean, I don't know what else is going to work. Police are allowing them to enter the streets and do all this. Then when somebody hits them and runs over them and sends them down to hell where they're going to end up anyways, that driver is going to be blamed for it. This one, I just, we've been in these situations before. And see, the great thing about the job I do is I've been in a lot of positions where maybe 3-4 years ago, I would have just cracked somebody's ass. And now I'm just like, I'm here to document what's going on, because by me documenting the way these fools are acting, that's doing a hell of a lot more than it will be for me to be detained for a couple hours. And, but when I see this stuff and when I just see these cockroaches, yes, cockroaches out in the street, these dirty piles of dong. How about that? And they're doing this on the American streets.
Hey, you dumb bitch! Fuck you!
You scared now? What happened?
Got him spit at the window, and then the other guy does it.
Stupid, yeah, triangle, Hamas. I
You
love
fucking
Hamas,
dumb bitch.
yeah. Yeah.
You stupid hoe.
Stupid, open your window, dummy. Open your window, now you're scared.
Bro, if you're here for them, stay with them. If you're here for the protesters, go to the protesters.
It's going to take something, folks. And I get it. The Trump administration is working on a lot of these folks. But a lot of these folks, and unless we do something sweeping, because like I said, we've had a problem with our immigration since before Obama, where we bring in people like Ian Omar and all these folks. When you travel, when you go to, what was it, go to the Mall of America someday. You will think you're in a foreign country, and the way those people act and the way their entitlement is there. Go to some of the places in Dearborn, Michigan, and you'll understand that our immigration was purposely done to destroy Western civilization. If you don't like it here, go to Gaza. Go to Gaza. Maybe you can clean the new Trump Tower that will be there in a couple years. But going out and harassing American citizens in our streets, it's probably not getting you too far. It's probably not getting you too far. They're demanding their goats back. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Maybe, you heard 40 acres and a mule. Maybe we got to give them like 3 goats. They'll calm down. Their women will be mad. Oh. All right, Democrats. We played last week how they all pretty much synced. They were given a message on what to say. This is what you say. We need you to tweet this out. We're still wondering where all this is coming from, but it happened again yesterday. It happened again yesterday in the form of tweets. I'm going to play this little video here, and notice how they all match each other. And then I got another one I'll show you, but I just want to give you an idea in a video. House Democrats, stand united. House Democrats, stand united. Look at everything. Cut and paste. Cut and paste. Look at all of them. And why are they doing this, folks? They are doing this because they're in the process of shutting down the government. The thing that they says is catastrophic to our country, that nobody should ever, that you should do whatever you can to avoid a government shutdown. Do you think they're doing anything they can to avoid a government shutdown? I don't think so. We're going to talk about that. Here's another one right here. Look at that. Rep. Mike Levin, Rep. Bobby Scott, Rep. Debbie Dingell, Congressman Sarah McBride. You notice how I caught myself and said Congressman Sarah McBride. Rep. Amelia Strong Stykes, Rep. Gregory Meeks, Congressman Dwight Evans, all of them. And I'll tell you how it begins. They pay a lot of money for polling. They pay these people to go out, and this is what we need to do. Very similar to what Gavin Newsom is doing with his podcast. He's trying to act like a moderate. No, yeah, we were wrong here. We were wrong here. We were wrong there. We're not going to be wrong anymore. When it's a play for the stupid people, and there's plenty of stupid people in this country that when he runs for 2028, he can seem like he's a moderate. He just cares for all people. You know, it is wrong to have a male and female sports, but we got to coddle that male. We got to tell him he can be a girl. He just can't play in the sports. We won't get him the mental health help he needs. Well, that's what all Democrats do, and I want to bring this up. Again, 11:59 p.m.
are not good
tomorrow.
For the economy.
11:59 p.m. tomorrow. And I just wanted to see what have Democrats said about shutdowns.
Shutdowns are not good for the economy.
So there you have not good for the economy. And we got a couple of these. We're going to just show you what Democrats have said.
A government shutdown. The truth is that shutting down the government is a serious and dangerous action that we must do everything possible to prevent. Shutting down the government would impact tens of millions of our fellow Americans who would be unable to access government services. It would severely impact federal employees who would not get the paychecks they expected. It would also have a very significant impact on our armed forces. In other words, we must do everything that we can to prevent a government shutdown.
That was when Republicans were threatening to shut down the government. How things change. It'll impact tens of millions of America. We must do everything in our power to avoid a shutdown. Let's see Shifty Shift.
And not paid. Service members had the government shut down. Hundreds of thousands of people would have not gotten their paychecks. Federal employees would have been furloughed, sent home. Others deemed essential, like TSA workers, they would have been forced to go to work and not paid. Service members in the military would be forced to go to work and not get paid. Had the government shut.
Man, that seems like pretty bad. Democrats, like, we shouldn't want that. We shouldn't want that. Is there any more Democrats that speak against it?
Keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me, they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
Yes, there are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government, to join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are simply trying to... So yes, look, if we have to take steps.
14 days from now, government shutdown is looming.
If we don't believe that we have a willing partner on the other side, then we need to stay united and not bail out President Trump.
And yet at the same time, in order for a lot of voters to fully understand what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing, people are unfortunately going to have to feel some of that. And the only way that that happens is if the shutdown happens.
Oh man, such a bunch of hypocrites, huh? Now the Democrats will own this shutdown. Listen to good old flashback
and
with
other
Chucky
nutrition
Schumer.
programs.
And then I'm going to show you how they're
benefits
trying to spin it here in a minute. But let me pull this up right here.
If the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most.
So average Americans, you and me, guys, are going to suffer because of this Democrat shutdown.
A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos as the Social Security Administration limits certain services like benefit verifications or fixing errors in payments. Our veterans could see regional VA offices shut down and support services put on hold. Some of our military service be forced to work without pay. Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs could see benefits halted.
So here we go again, and we knew that the obstruct, what we've seen between 2016 and 2020 is the only plan Democrats have. Now listen to Jasmine Crockett here, and I'm sorry, you got to listen to the ghetto girl for a minute because this is how they're trying to spin it. Now they're shutting down the government to save jobs. No, you got to listen to it first.
In my opinion, if we're shut down, you can't be fired. And what does that mean? It does mean that people will not be paid, but it does mean that they will get their back pay. So hopefully we can stop some of the bleeding. We just saw that the Department of Education laid off 50% of their workforce. So I don't really understand why anybody would say, oh, we got to take the high road. Listen, he is decimating the federal government. And you're talking about whether or not we're going to keep the doors open?
It goes to show you one thing, that Democrats rely on a bloated federal government, that Democrats hate what our founders intended, which was a limited government that didn't have every aspect of your life under control. The founders wanted you to be a free person, not regulated to the extent we are regulated now. And she goes on and say, well, if the government shut down, they can't fire. Who says? Email's still working, sweetheart. Don't come back when the government opens up. That would be my email. And again, the reason why we're doing this is what we say yesterday, that the budget for the Department of Education was $80 billion and only 5% of that $80 billion funneled into the schools for curriculum. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. We need to cut that $80 million down to about $5 billion and send it off to the states that are willing to educate our students, not willing to indoctrinate, willing to educate our students. So Decker, what's up? We got a lot of things we're working on here, and as you can see, I like this one too. I like this. Just got to rub it in
our
on
economy, and it harms service.
That shit crazy.
Shutdown is very serious.
There are real consequences when the government shuts down. It harms our national security, it harms our economy, and it harms service members, veterans, retirees, and vulnerable communities.
We all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable.
The tragedy here is all the civilian employees. It is the American people who are going to suffer.
Border Patrol agents will not be paid. TSA agents will not be paid. Small businesses will be hurt.
Not only is it irresponsible and purposely misleading, it is dangerous precedent to be threatening a shutdown.
I'm worried about our air controllers, those in the military. We have over almost 40,000 in the military, as well as personnel who work in the military, and they won't have checks. I mean, this is real.
The real people's lives at stake.
It is not normal to hold 800,000 workers' paychecks hostage. It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
Our troops deserve better.
Our children deserve better. And the American people deserve.
So, yeah, they deserve better, but it looks like Democrats are going to be doing everything in their power to shut down the government. And they need to own it. It is the Schumer shutdown. I've been seeing people try to spin it from the left, you know, their social media people. It's not working. This is a Democrat shutdown. It doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican. You know the games that Democrats played in the first 4 years of Donald Trump's term, and they're playing those same things. This is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Listen to what he said earlier on C-SPAN.
I can tell you what's not good for the economy is this government shutdown. I don't know what Democrats are thinking here, because they're going to own it. And to the extent that it hurts confidence, hurts the American people, we have had incredible Republican unity since January 20th. And the fact that the Democrats are in disarray, they're flailing, and this is the best they can do, that I think this is the economic story for the next few days.
Not the tariff.
Not for the next few days. If they want to take us into a shutdown, they're going to own it.
To go back on his question.
And I have to agree. Again, it's passed the House, it's in the Senate, and now Democrat senators are whining and crying and wanting it's got to be their way or the highway. And it's not going to work like that. President Trump stated, hold on. President Trump talked about the shutdown from the Oval Office earlier today. Take a listen to this.
They do a shutdown, and ultimately that might lead to very, very high taxes, because we're talking about a shutdown. We're talking about getting to work immediately on the pass. That was the one we did. It was a renewal, and it's an addition to it. And we're going to cut people's taxes. And if we don't open, the Democrats are stopping all of these good things that we're providing. We're providing the greatest package of benefits that this country's ever provided. The biggest part of that's going to be tax cuts for the middle class and for businesses, small businesses, employers, people that hire people in jobs. And if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats. And they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
Own it, right, guys? Own it. Hey, guys, just in case you weren't here at the beginning of the show, we are doing a raffle for today and tomorrow. So you only got 24 hours to enter, and we will be doing the raffle live tomorrow on our live stream. And it is for a $75 gift card to our website for some great gear. We were showing some of the gear earlier. Let me pull that back up. We got all our Trump gear. All the new stuff is out there too. You take a look, shirts, hats, coffee cups, even kids stuff. And then some of the newer stuff. Let's see here. Wait until this goes on. And also, let me pull this up while that's loading. One of these Make Speech Free Again hats, either in pink, red, or where's the bottom one? Camo. You get to choose which color you want. And again, we will be doing this drawing. We're trying to get caught up on our bills by the end of this week. So if you guys want to, every $10 donation gets you one entry. So if you do $20, that's 2 entries. If you do $50, that's 5 entries. Here's some of the other newer stuff we got. Look at that one right there where the mouse is. You know why I like that one? Because I'm wearing it today, and I'll be wearing it out today. People at Costco loved it. More ice, please. I need to wear it to a protest, to be honest with you. We got the Gulf of America coffee cup, the lady shirt, V-neck, inauguration. We just got a whole bunch. So if you get in, again, it's going to be a $10 donation entry. Again, if you do $30, that's 3 entries. It's Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. and givesendgo.com/Oreo2024. If you decide to use Zelle, we have a Zelle link on our website. You can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and you scroll down a little and there's a donate now button on there. Head over there and check that out. We appreciate you guys for keeping us afloat. Appreciate you for helping us get the bills paid, and hopefully we get to travel. So speaking about this economy, guys, and what's going on, you know, whenever anything goes bad, we hear about it time and time again. You could still pull on CNN and they'll still say, well, President Trump said he was going to grab him by the... They want to try to destroy a man that, again, Teflon Don. It's not going to work. But what I find, if you look at this right here, I think this is interesting that nobody's talking about this. This is a dozen eggs sitting at $4.90 a dozen eggs. That is about, I think, 11 cents cheaper than they were in December. So before Trump took office, they were about $5 a dozen. They did rise up to $8. Last week, our ag secretary discussed what they were doing and how they were trying to fix Biden's blunders with his administration just culling, I think it was millions of chickens. So there's a supply problem. And when you have a supply and demand problem, that's what causes the price to go up. But since then, it was over $8. It is now $4.89 on average for a dozen, and that is going to continue to go down. It's not gonna drop down to $2 or $2.50, whatever they were 2 years ago, right away. But this is a good step in the right direction, and it seems like there's a lot of things that are good. We're going to talk about a couple. Another promise that Trump made is he was going to fight to end the Ukraine war. So yesterday, he talked about agreeing to a ceasefire deal with Ukraine, and 30-day ceasefire deal. Give him time to negotiate, find some solutions. Again, an endless war where millions of people are just dying, being slaughtered. And Trump's done with war. He doesn't like war. He didn't like it in his first term. He thinks war is stupid. So Zelensky agreed to that, and then it was up to Putin. And then the first response that I got from, or that I seen from anybody in Russia, was one of Putin's right-hand guys and saying that, no, now's not the time for this ceasefire. We're not going to give Ukraine time to breathe. Meaning they're just going to keep doing it all assault. Well, Putin came out, and here is some video.
The ceasefire would lead
Putin.
to a... As for readiness of for the ceasefire, I'll tell you my estimation of this. But first of all, I would like to thank the President of the United States for paying so much attention to regulating the conflict in Ukraine. Of course, we all have lots of current issues to deal with, and the chairman of China and the Prime Minister of India, heads of states of Brazil and South Africa, they are dealing with this issue, and they're paying a lot of attention to this, and we're grateful for this. And we're hoping that their activity, we understand that their activity is aimed at reducing loss of human life in the conflict. Secondly, we agree with the proposals for the ceasefire, but our position is based on the assumption that the ceasefire would lead to a long-term peace, something that would remove the initial reasons for the crisis. As for the readiness of Ukraine to ceasefire, there's a meeting between Americans and Ukrainians in Saudi Arabia, and it looks like a decision that is taken by Ukrainian side under American pressure. In reality, I am completely convinced that Ukraine had to ask Ukrainians, ask Americans, insist on this, based on the situation on the ground.
So it sounds like if you get through that, Putin thanked President Trump for his efforts and says he wants to speak with Trump first before making the ceasefire final. This could be huge. I think Trump will probably speak with him very soon. Again, it goes to show you the president that Democrats hate is truly the president of peace. You know, Democrats will argue about a square yard in Ukraine that Russia has, and not mentioned the millions of young men and women who have died fighting in this war. It's just amazing that we are seeing this again 50-something days into Trump's presidency, and it's great news. But it sounds like Russia will agree to the temporary ceasefire in Ukraine. And this was after Trump sent Rubio and Witkoff to help broker it. Countless lives will be saved, guys. Countless lives. I mean, when it comes down to it, the bottom line is that and I've said this before, Russia could nuke Ukraine. It doesn't. We're going to be driving to work fine. We're going to be going out doing our jobs. We're going to be paying our bills. But that's not it. It's one thing when you have all these innocent people dying and people that don't want to go to war, people that are being dragged in. We've seen the videos from Ukraine where they're literally pulling people off the streets, and that needs to end. It was a pointless war. We spent way too much money on it, and I think Trump's going to be saving us. But not just that. I mean, again, egg prices down. Looks like we might have some peace talks with Russia and Ukraine thanks to Trump. And I showed you this yesterday, but I wanted to pull it up again. This is Trueflation. This is where inflation was when Trump took office. And I just want you to see this inflation number go down to about 1.3%. This is absolutely huge. And again, if we had real media, the stock market would be screaming right now. But again, all they're talking about is the possibilities of what these tariffs could do. They're not going off what the tariffs did last time, because he had tariffs in his last administration. He put them on. You didn't notice it. Your real wages went up. You were able to afford more. But they don't want you to know any of that. But again, just a couple great things that's going on. Hey, listen to this.
2020, up 0.3, up 0.3, up 0, goose egg, unched. Boy, that is progress. We haven't had a number that low. Well, we equaled it in July of last year when we had another 0. To find a lower number, you're back to October of 23 at minus 0.4. Strip out the all-important food and energy, down 1/10. Down 1/10. That's 0.4 lower than expectations. Down 1/10 also equals July of last year. Find a lower number, you're going back to COVID times. April of 2020, up 0.3, up 0, goose egg,
some people are reporting on it. Democrats aren't excited about this. They want to shut down the government. And Trump had some tweets today. It looks like the European Union, who, again, Democrats will side with Europe way before they side with you, the American citizen. We've learned this. We know this. We don't know if Democrats are Palestinian, Ukrainian, or Canadian right now, but I'm pretty sure by tomorrow they're going to be European. How much you want to bet? Check this out. The European Union, one of the most hostile and abusive taxing and tariffing authorities in the world, which was formed for the sole purpose of taking advantage of the United States, had just put a nasty 50% tariff on whiskey. If this tariffs is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU represented countries. This will be great for the wine and champagne business in the U.S. I love this. It's the FAFO, guys. I mean, we shouldn't even have to be going through this, but what they think they can do is overwhelm Trump. These countries are actually working together. Canada, Europe. They want to try to, they don't like the United States being the powerhouse that we once were. We stopped being the powerhouse about the time Obama came into office and he went on his apology tour. And what is Trump saying? You know what? You pay your fair share. Democrats always talk about fair shares unless it's with your tax dollars. And guess what? You can protect this country with American tax dollars. That country doesn't need to put in anything. And then when we come over here to these tariffs, it's going to be a game that Europe will lose, the European Union. And then he also went off on this one. The Global Wall Street Journal has no idea what they are doing or saying. They are owned by the polluted thinking of the European Union, which was formed for the primary purpose of screwing the United States of America. Their Wall Street Journal thinking is antiquated and weak and very bad for the USA. But have no fear. We will win on everything. Egg prices are down, oil is down, interest rates are down, and tariff-related money is pouring into the United States. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I like that. I like that. So when I was getting the show ready, there was some breaking news. Imagine this, an activist judge. But before we get into that, let me pull this up really quick. Weak coffee is for the weak, and at Rumble, weak has never been part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, no settling for mediocrity, just like 1775 coffee. It's single origin, small farm, hand-picked specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out BS when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And Vitality Mushroom Blend, real energy and lasting focus, no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole bean, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. Again, guys, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off. All right. So when I was getting the show ready this morning, I happened to notice that we got another activist judge, this time out of San Francisco. Look at the article here. It says, breaking, a federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to reinstate thousands of probationary employees who were fired last month from half a dozen federal agencies. Now, I just want to think about this for a second. Where does a judge get off having that kind of authority? Trump ran on, he is the chief executive officer. He is the president of the United States. He is to make decisions on how he wants to direct the country. One of the things he said, we're going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. What this is abuse. By having a bloated government that does nothing for the American people except take their tax money, that is abuse. So Trump goes in, he's doing exactly what he said, and then you get this this San Francisco activist judge. And so I'm going to pull up the article here. It says, judge orders fired probationary federal employees to be reinstated. It says a federal judge on Thursdays ordered the Trump administration to reinstate thousands of probationary employees who were fired last month from a half a dozen federal agencies. The U.S. District Judge William Alsup ordered the Trump administration to reinstate employees at the Veterans Administration, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Defense, the Department of Energy, the Department of Interior, and the Department of Treasury. Says he also prohibited the Office of Personnel Management from issuing any guidance about whether employees can be terminated. So this guy thinks he's president. And you know what? Let me pull this back up. I closed this down earlier, but let me pull this up. Let's see. Grab this. So he was appointed in 1999 by Bill Clinton and assumed senior status in 2021. Again, he's out of the San Francisco courthouse. I think we're going to be finding some crazy things here that's going to go on. I want to tell you what I want. I want the Trump administration to tell him to go kick rocks. Again, they are trying to destroy everything Trump promised the American people, everything that he was running on. It wasn't illegal or wrong to do when he was running, but now that he's elected and he's actually do it, promises made, promises kept. We have another promise coming tomorrow that we're going to be talking about. That's huge on our immigration problem. But these are not kings, guys, in the seat. Everything Trump is doing, he is doing. Marcia, thank you for joining, and old Uncle Bill, thank you for joining into the raffle. We appreciate you. So check that out. And Saucia, I will get back to you. I think it expires at the end of the month, so I will issue another one if you hadn't used that one. If you're in here, I don't know if Sensi is in here. So this is where we're at, guys. This is everything that Trump wants to do to make this country more efficient, more of what our founders intended. Reel back the government. A judge, an activist judge out of San Francisco, is trying to say, nope, can't do that. And I think that judge is going to be overruled. I love this. I love this because people are so mad at Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary, we play him a lot when he goes on CNN. He is a businessman. He has taken businesses that shouldn't survive, cut the fat, and rebuilt them into $1 million companies. And listen to what he says right here. I love it.
You want to cut multiple times more. I think Elon's not cutting enough. Cut 20% more now. Get your spreadsheet out. These are the names. Whack everybody, and then 20% more, as we do in the private sector every day and have done for 100 years in private equity, and hire back when the organization gels. That way, the demoralization only happens once. You don't want to cut multiple times. More whacking. Let me just,
can I explain to you that this is when running.
You don't need to explain it to me. I know how it works.
But no, you don't, because
actually, when I do. I've done it multiple times.
But yeah, that's in the private sector, and you cannot run.
This is worse.
This is worse than the private sector. He is 100% right. And this guy trying to tell a businessman who has hundreds of corporations, invests daily in companies that are failing and turns them around, he's going to try to educate him.
You cannot run everyday government the same way you run the
fat dripping with waste government.
I'm not talking about fat dripping with waste government.
What do we have?
I told you in the South right now in red states. Do you know the number one cause?
What does this have to do with red or blue?
Can I finish my question? Do you know the number one cause for children underperforming in schools right now?
Bad educators.
They're
hungry. As a
no. Let me finish.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Let me finish.
I actually, my whole career.
I love that, because did you guys know? I don't know how many, but they always try to go for the hungry kids in red states or something like that. I promise you that is not the reason. And how many people remember, I don't know about you, but we used to go take field trips. And I don't remember my field trip, but I went with my son or daughter, and they take you on a field trip. I think it was near Sonora, California, and they have an old schoolhouse, and they take you in the schoolhouse, and they explain to you how some of those kids that went to these schools turned out to be doctors and lawyers. And they also explained to you that you would be kicked out of class if you had dirt behind your ears, if you weren't properly clean, and that these kids didn't eat many of the times they didn't get breakfast, they went to school, they didn't eat lunch, and then they went home to finally eat a dinner because their families were poor. And they turned out to be doctors, lawyers, and everything else. Now, I don't want anybody to go hungry. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I make sure my kid is fed. My kid eats probably more than most kids at 4 years old. Trust me. Can't feed them enough. But again, he turns the whole economy thing into red states. No, it's a fat, bloated, greasy government. And we're cleaning it up regardless what a federal judge says. You watch, you wait and see.
That's my point.
And the number one reason, and again, parents need to have some accountability too. We talk about this a lot with the reason why school districts work better in certain areas, like my neighborhood. You know how Gavin Newsom wants to put low-income people into my neighborhood. He wants to destroy my neighborhood. Because again, when you walk around my neighborhood, you can knock on the door. They're reading to their children. They're doing this. They're not partying all day. There's a reason why they live in specific neighborhoods. A lot of times low-income people have a low-income mentality, and we just need to understand that. Until we can help out that mentality, we're not going to help out a lot. But then they go to school and they have teachers that can't be fired, teachers that are indoctrinating. Check this out. On the ground, southern border, we got some great numbers, historical numbers, but listen to what Trump says here.
With just the news, on the southern border, you've got DHS and ICE who are reporting that there was a little bit of fudging of numbers during the Biden administration on both the catch and the release side with respect to reporting the number of illegals coming into
They cheated on the numbers. The numbers were. I love that question. Who are you with?
Just the news, Amanda.
Very nice. That's good.
Do you know how many of those are criminal illegal aliens?
Many of
Biden's
them.
Out of office.
Yeah.
Alejandro Mayorkas.
No, Biden fudged the numbers. The numbers were totally fake. And he gave fake numbers. I knew they were fake. Everybody knew they were fake, but now it came out. And terrible what they did. That administration was a horror show for this country.
So Trump finally being asked about the reporting that came out yesterday that Biden was lying, that the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas directed ICE on how to fudge the numbers of ICE arrests, calling those people that we were filming coming across the border and getting into what used to be an Uber van, Border Patrol Uber van, when they weren't allowed to do their jobs. Now they're out there kicking ass and taking names at our southern border, and we need to be grateful for that. But they would call that an arrest. It wasn't an arrest. They get sent over to a processing facility and they're released within 24 hours into a four-star hotel you're paying for. And now all this is finally coming out again. I don't know if we'll ever hold these people accountable. I would love to see Mayorkas in handcuffs. It's such a breath of fresh air to see what's going on right now. This also, let me pull this up. We covered yesterday, Tom Homan, our border czar, over there in New York and eating an apple and smiling while they have all these anti-ICE protesters. Let me pull this back. Let's see.
You got Governor Hochul who stood on national TV after NYPD officers were assaulted, saying she thinks criminal aliens should be deported. She said the same thing after a young woman was burned alive on a subway by an illegal alien. So she says, yeah, criminal aliens should be deported. However, when Mayor Adams meets with me and wants to help us arrest criminal aliens, get us back on Rikers Island, she goes down there and tries to fire them. She's got the green light law where ICE officers and CBP officers can't get DMV data. When they pull a car over here, they don't even know who they are because they can't get data from DMV because she locked them out. And if she says they need a warrant to get that data, and if they get the warrant to get that data, what's New York do? They notify the bad guy that we're investigating him. So I'm up here calling around for.
So again, remember, ICE agents think they have a suspect that's a wanted, could be a murderer, Could be a rapist, child sex trafficker, anything. They run the plates. ICE is now, they don't allow ICE into those records to find out. Then when they do a search warrant and actually get the information finally, DMV calls up that person and says, hey, ICE is looking for you. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And again, America needs to rise up. Check this one. Mike Banks, U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks announces that a Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang member who was wanted in Colorado, remember, I didn't think Colorado had any issues, for kidnapping and torture, was arrested by Border Patrol in Michigan after BP agents and Auburn Hills PD responded to a shoplifting call, now in custody and being prosecuted. You got a little Ralph Lauren polar bear t-shirt on. He could take that back to Venezuela, maybe get a couple pesos. Ta-ta for now. I'm done with it. And then this came out yesterday. I thought you guys would find this quite interesting. We've covered a lot of the migrant shelters. Even when we went to New York, we covered some of the hotels and migrant shelters down there. Well, it looks like federal prosecutors have finally issued a subpoena at the Roosevelt Hotel. This was posted by I meme, therefore I am on X. Take a listen to this.
Hotels. It is insane. The department is investigating New York City's hotels that have been turned into migrant shelters. This is new. What can you tell us about it?
Well, this is fantastic. I've actually been calling for this for quite some time. We need to be looking at those contracts that the city signed with these particular entities, billions of dollars in taxpayer money. You know, Stuart, when you do the math, it can come up to as much as $14,000 a month per room at one of these luxury hotels. It is insane the amount of money that they've been spending to house people who are in the country illegally, and even those who are committing crimes. Remember, people would commit crimes, they'd get released because of New York's bail law. They'd go back to that luxury hotel room that you and I are paying for as New York City taxpayers, and it's outrageous. And so I'm really glad that the Department of Justice is looking into this, because they got to look at the contracts, and in this case, they're also looking at the FEMA money that was inappropriately used in violation of federal law. They were used to harbor illegal immigrants. That is against the law. And so I'm glad that they're finally taking action. Well, we needed a new president, a new, obviously, attorney general for them to actually do the right thing and look into this. And I'm glad Pam Bondi is.
And now it's happening. Nicole Malliotakis, thanks very much.
It's good news. Once we, if this goes through, and we get the information we are searching for, you're going to find a lot of corruption. And Pam Bondi knows that. We know that. This was just absolutely disgusting what we've watched happen to our country with our tax dollars, facilitating everything that's going on. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel, even though we're fighting these corrupt judges, these activist judges. I love this. CBP February reporting. Making America safe again. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, encounters at our border have reached the lowest in recorded history. Look at the difference just 1 year makes. 140,000 that were being invited and welcomed in by Joe Biden to 8,347 under Trump, and he's not done. He is not done. He still wants to build. He wants more technology and equipment, and he's keeping our men and women in uniform down at our southern border to protect you, to protect the Lincoln Rileys of this world. And I think it's great news. I think it's great news. Again, so much has been done in 50-something days, guys. And all you're hearing about is tariffs, and now you're seeing Democrats bragging about shutting down our government. Can't make this up. Now, we talked about some more promises made, promises kept act. You remember towards the end of, I would say, the last 4 to 5 weeks of the presidential campaign, when they were campaigning, going everywhere, Madison Square Garden, one thing Trump said, and I heard him say it in person, is they will invoke a wartime law known as the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Well, it's being reported now, this is from CBS News, that President Trump is planning to invoke a wartime law known as the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 as soon as Friday to authorize the summary deportations of some migrants. Because why? You have these NGOs and these leftists and these Soros-backed groups that are literally suing the Trump administration for their deportations. There's people that they want to deport right now, but there's lawsuits. So we just got to keep them in the holding facilities. They came into this country illegally. Many of them already had deportation orders under Joe Biden. And you have leftist groups suing. Why? Because they know by cleaning up this country, we are going to make America great again. And that is cleaning up this country, is getting people who will not pledge allegiance to this flag, that came in across illegally, who want to live off taxpayer dollars. I'm going to save that for the next show. I got to write that down because there was Governor Newsom. I remembered that. I meant to put it in my notebook last night. Governor Newsom is asking for a loan. I believe it's for Medicare because we don't have enough money to cover it. And the reason why we don't have enough money to cover it is because the money we spent on illegals. So we'll cover that in the next show. So much to cover these days, man. I can't believe we can do 2 complete shows a day, about 3 hours, and still have time for more. I don't have time for more. It takes about 4 hours per show to get them going. So plus the show's an hour and a half. So really quick, guys, before you go, we are doing a raffle. We will pick a winner tomorrow. And let's see. And so if you guys want to jump in, I might find one extra thing to add in between now and another show. I can't find it. It was something I bought. I won't even tell you where because I don't want you to get excited if I can't find it. But so what this is for is you get a $75 gift card to the OreoExpress.com. I'm going to transition this over right here. All the more ice, please. All the Trump stuff, Gulf of America shirts, all the great stuff. And you know why I like the Gulf of America? If you don't feel comfortable wearing Trump shirts, you might not live in the nicest of areas. You can wear a Gulf of America shirt, and it's kind of a subtle jab because they don't know if you've actually traveled there, if that's from your vacation or not. And they're like, well, I'll just let them get by. Now this one's gangster. More ice, please. I'll be wearing this all day today. But again, if you guys want to enter, every $10 donation gets you in for one entry. So if you do $30, that's 3 entries. You guys can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. We also have a Zelle link on our website, theoreoexpress.com. Theoreoexpress.com. Scroll down. There's a donate now button, and it has all the links, including Zelle. And you will also be You'll also be getting one of whoever wins gets to choose from the pink Make Speech Free Again hat, the red, or the camo. So you'll get the $75 gift card to the website, the hats. And just want to say thank you for your support. We got some past due bills we're trying to get taken care of, and we appreciate your support. And guess what? We will see you guys probably in about a little under 4 hours. I got to get the show going, the next show ready and going. So I want to say thank you, and thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for everybody who jumped in here. I know Bill, Marcia, and Sancia. I will take care of that. Who else? Trying to look, and I don't have the ones on Rumble, but I believe it was Jan Garner and Mom X Swift. And if anybody else I missed, we'll do it all. We'll give you all a shout out, obviously, when we do the raffle tomorrow. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you soon. God bless. And make sure you are following so you get a notification. And follow on all the platforms, Kick, Twitch, and Twitter. Look up Oreo Express on those. God bless y'all.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.